All right, first of all, what was the New Deal? In simple, just a simple definition of the New Deal.
Ways to recover the economy
By who?
by FDR.
Okay, so, okay.
FDR and a group of people, right? They came up with the main ideas.
Okay, so FDR and his advisors came up with ideas basically to get us out of what?
Great Depression.
The Great Depression, okay? And there was a series, when we talked about the first 100 days, there was a series of programs designed to get us out of the Great Depression. Pardon me. And then I said there was a second set of programs that came out, and it was called the what? The second New Deal. The Wagner Act was in there, and there's other, the AAA, some of those things that we were talking about when FDR tried to start packing the court, remember, so that he could get his stuff, kind of get rid of the checks and balances. Okay. One of the most enduring programs, important programs that was created during this time period was called the Social Security Act. Does anybody know what Social Security is? David?
In certain situations, if something were to happen, like a supporting family member were to die, then the child of that supporting family member could receive payment from the government.
Okay, and we'll talk about that later because Aaron's going to remind me to do that. By the way, you guys cool being on video? Yeah. Okay. All right. So put that disclaimer out there. Okay. So, all right. Now, that's one reason. So, all right, think about this. So, in the 1930s, the Great Depression was going on. I want you to think about your grandfathers and grandmothers. First of all, I mean, unless they're really savvy with their money, are they rich? Yeah, they could be. But for the most part, what do our seniors live on? Off of? Social Security, okay? Now, if they did their investments properly, Social Security is part of their retirement, okay? But a lot of people, and I'll give you some personal examples in a minute, okay? So, during the 1930s, when a lot of people weren't working, your seniors were going to be some of the people that got hit by the stock market crash and so forth. So are we just going to let our seniors, not eat and not have a place to live and stuff? Are we just going to put them out on the street? No. We have to take care of them. And so the government came up with a way to do that. Okay? So we'll start with the seniors.
Were the seniors investing in the stock market, or is that like not an immediate?
Some of them were.
Oh, okay.
Some people put their whole life savings in there thinking they were going to reap the benefits. So we had to come up with a system that was going to make it so that our seniors could actually live their lives out in their retirement without being poor, I guess you'd say. All right? So I'm going to use these four lovely volunteers as an example to show you how the system was set up and how it's different today. I used to have Bellos bucks. I don't know if you ever looked up there, but I used to have Bellos bucks, and I don't have them anymore, so we're going to use these nice be the change cards that I made a couple of years ago, and this is going to represent money. Now, how many of you have jobs? Like real jobs where you get a paycheck?
I used to.
Okay, so you got a paycheck?
Yeah.
Did you ever look at your paycheck? Did you ever go, man, I work so many hours, but how come I'm only getting this amount of money? Like, this doesn't seem like enough. Yeah? Okay, so if you look at your paychecks when you start working, I'm not talking about cutting lawns under the table kind of thing. I'm talking about like real job. You'll notice that you probably 1/3 approximately of your money will be taken out for taxes, and part of that is called FICA, and that's basically the money that's going to Social Security. Okay. Now, the purpose, this is how it was set up back during this time period, so we could help out the seniors that were and other people that couldn't really work for themselves during this time period. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to pass out some money, and I'm going to give you guys some money. You're going to get some money. You're welcome. This is the youngest of our crowd today. She's a very strong, hardworking individual. You're a little bit older. You're kind of getting towards, maybe towards Mr. Bell's age, but still vibrant. You know what I'm saying? Did you see that? She's making fun of me. Okay. Mr. K here. He's getting ready to retire. He's not there yet, but he's a little on the older side. And Alyssa, she's old. I mean, she doesn't look old, but she's pretty close to retirement. Okay. So right now, all 4 of these individuals are working, and what we're going to do is, I'm the government, and I get to collect the money. So I'm going to go and I'm going to collect one, we'll just call this $1. This one, collect $1 Bellos every month. And I'm going to take that, don't be stingy with your money, okay? I'm going to take that money and I'm going to put this money in the Social Security Bank. Here's the Social Security Bank. And every month, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to collect the money, I'm going to put it in the Social Security Bank. And you'll notice that the money in the Social Security Bank is it's getting big, right? It's building up. Thank you. But so now we've got all this money in the Social Security Bank and everything's working good. But now Alyssa is going to retire. I know she's so young, but man, she's worked 30 years. She's retiring. She's not going to work anymore. So now she's going to be able to collect Social Security. So now I'm going to collect. Hey man, until you get 30 years in, you're going to pay. Now I'm going to put this money in the bank, but I'm going to give one back to Alyssa. Okay, now I'm going to collect the money again, and unfortunately, or fortunately, depends on how you want to look at it, Mr. K, he's like, I'm done too, I'm retiring, I'm going to retire, and now I'm going to give $2 back, and I'm going to keep collecting the 2. What's the problem?
I'm gonna be broke.
Okay, well, you'll keep getting money from your employer as I keep taking it. And hopefully what you get from your employer is going to outweigh what I'm taking from you, okay? But what's going to happen? Okay, eventually, so these guys are going to go on retirement. Now, when the system was originally developed, okay, what was the average age of that people lived during, let's say, the 1930s?
70.
That's too high.
60.
I'll just tell you, it's 65. 65. Now, when could these 2 start collecting Social Security?
60.
62. Okay, so they can start collecting Social Security at 62. So technically, on average, how many years might they collect Social Security? For 3 years. Okay. Now, but let's jump to 2014, let's say. How many, is the average age going to be 65 anymore?
No.
What is the average age in the United States now for women and men?
Something like 80.
Okay, it is 75 for men, and it's 78 for women. Do you guys want to know why it's 78 for women and 75 for men? You know this is coming, right? What's Mr. Bell's going to say? Because the women nag us so much that they kill the guys before I've seen it. Okay, all right. I mean, they don't kill them, you know. I mean, it's the stress. You see this? You see the gays? Don't watch this. Okay. All right. Anyway, so all right. But here's another problem. So these guys are gonna eventually they're gonna be on retirement as well. These guys are gonna live a lot longer. What are some of the reasons that they're gonna live longer than maybe the people back in the 1930s?
Better condition.
I need more.
Medicine.
Medicine
better,
is advanced.
Greater, what do you call it? Another term.
Medication.
Greater life, like greater value of life.
Oh, standard of living maybe is better. Okay, all
better
right.
conditions of the workplace.
Conditions in the workplace. Was it like, you know, back in the 1900s when people were like, you know, working 14, 15 hours a day in a factory where, you know? Okay, so now think about this. In 2007, when the economy took a tank or a dump or whatever you want to call it, okay? These guys they're in retirement, but now we're in a recession and Angelique loses her job. Now she's collecting unemployment, which is kind of a form of welfare in a way. And the only one that's still working is Alyssa. And so now we have a situation where what is going to happen to the money in the bank?
It's going down.
It's going to run out. Does this sound familiar? So, ladies and gentlemen, I've been working since I've been 14 years old. Okay? Because I worked at Blockbuster. You can get a permit, whatever. I've been working since I've been young, you know, and putting into Social Security. Guess what? I might not get any. That makes me upset. Because I've been paying in ever since I've been working. You guys probably won't get it. Now, if you start a job soon, you'll probably be putting into it, but yeah, you're going to have to start your own retirement funds. And I would strongly suggest that you do it soon. I know it sounds ridiculous, but you should. Now, I'll give you an example with my parents. My father passed away when he was 83. My mother and my father were both on Social Security. And they were, I don't even know the numbers, but let's just say my dad was making $1,200 a month, which isn't a lot, on Social Security. He had a low pension from his job. And then my mom was getting Social Security too. Let's just say total was $2,000 a month. Okay? Still got your house payments, all those other things, right? When my dad passed away, the way that they do it is you don't still continue to get both. You end up getting the one that's higher. So her standard of living was $2,000 a month, let's say, and now she's only getting $1,200 a month. What happens to my mom?
She starts to not be able to
She's
afford
going to have to
stuff.
scrape by, you know what I mean? If you know any people that are senior citizens or whatever, they don't have a lot of money. They're not living the life that they work so hard for. They're scraping by. And that's not fair if you think about it. And here's the thing. They've been talking about revising, so right now, today, you know, people are living longer. They're still getting unemployment. You've got the baby boom generation. Tons of people are retired, okay? And the money's going to run out. And they're trying to, so what they did was they moved it back now. So instead of being able at 62, I think it's 65 now. I think it's 65. So that's going to save a couple of years maybe, you know. But the idea is, how do we make it so that it's solvent? They say that it's going to run out by 2030. Guess when I retire? Yeah, like that'll be like right around when I'm 60, you know, because I was born in 70. So, yeah, I'm going to be in that group that worked and put into the system but didn't get any money back. Now, so it's an old age retirement. Give these guys a round of applause. Oh, I need my money back too. Yeah, thanks. All right. Almost so. All right, thank you guys. Okay. There's two other groups of people that benefit from Social Security. So it's an old age pension system. Pension is basically you getting money from putting money in. You ever heard of 401k? Same thing, you just do it by yourself. Sometimes businesses will give money, like the business itself will actually match your funding and stuff like that. But that's pretty rare nowadays. But there's two other groups. So when you get old and you can't work anymore, you can receive Social Security. David mentioned it before. What's another group, David, that is going to receive money from Social Security?
People who have a employed family member, guardian who dies.
Okay, so if you're one of your
Way of putting it.
parents
Yeah,
passes away before you're like 18 or
and
something like
they
that,
are receiving income, then you can receive income from
yes, you will get some money from Social Security. It's not going to go directly to you. It'll go to your parent, and they'll, you know, give to you. And then there's also people that are disabled. If you can't work, like I said, we're not going to put you out on the street, right? So people that are disabled are also going to receive money from Social Security. So we're going to have to figure out what are we going to do, you know, when it does run out. How are we going to help those people still, you know? There's a couple ideas right now, and the ideas are, and I'll be honest with you, I haven't researched this in a couple years, but the ideas are to make Social Security, give people an option, so they can either stay in the system and just get whatever they get whenever they retire, or they can actually take the money that they'd be putting into Social Security and the government would then invest it. So it'd be kind of like a government 401k in a way. And then I think the other, I don't know if there is another option where you could actually invest it yourself. That's a possibility too. So there's no really one good answer as to how they're going to fix the system. Because when they started it, it worked very well, you know. But you can't plan for everything, you know. I mean, it's 100 years later. Well, not exactly 100. Okay. Do you have any questions on that? Okay. What we're going to do now is I'm going to pass out some. I'm good. I'm going to.